Welcome to all. So today's presentation is Introduction to Metal Organic Frameworks. So in this presentation or in this video, I'll cover what is metal organic frameworks and where it is used. So it is a very unfamiliar term in case of a common people, but it is a very familiar term in those who work in material research. So those who work in material research, like it is being related to chemistry, or those who are a material scientist, are more common with this. So today's topic is metal organic frameworks. So it is like, as the name suggests, it has consist of three parts. One is like metal, the other is like organic, the one is metal, second is like organic moiety, and then these together forms into a network called as frameworks. So it is like it has got a three main constituent part. One is the node, nothing but metal, whereas spacer is nothing but an organic moiety. So we have got a cavity inside, and this cavity helps or acts as a reactive center. So metal organic frameworks, or in short, it is called as MOFs. So MOFs are a 3D coordination polymers, which means like it is a coordination polymer. Coordination is the linking of metal to an organic moiety is called as coordination. So this is called as coordination bond. So it is a three-dimensional coordination polymer, which means like this polymer extends in all three dimensions. Why it is specifically stated as three-dimensional coordination polymers? Because there are one-dimensional polymers as well as two-dimensional coordination polymers. But when it happens to be a three-dimensional coordination polymers, it can be referred as a metal organic framework. So these metal organic frameworks are crystalline porous material. So this is very important. It is a crystalline porous material, and basically it can be formed by the reaction of di or tricarboxylic acids with a bivalent, trivalent, or tetravalent molecules, like the common metals which are used for the preparation of metal organic frameworks are zinc, nickel, iron, and aluminium. So the synthesis is usually carried under solvothermal conditions. If it is carried under, if the solvent is water, it can be called as hydrothermal synthesis. So what is solvothermal or hydrothermal synthesis? Is nothing but when the reaction temperature is above the boiling point of the solvent, it is called as solvothermal synthesis. For example, if I use water and the reaction temperature is more than 100, so it is called as hydrothermal synthesis. So since the solvent is water, we call it as hydrothermal synthesis. If it is any other solvent, or it can be commonly called as solvothermal synthesis also. The next important point is like this MOFs can be prepared isoreticularly. So which means like maintaining the same structure, but the cavity inside or the pore size inside can be varied. So here is an example of that. So you can see there is an 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is an incremental cavity size, but you could clearly see the square shape or a cube shape is all maintained throughout the structures. So when the structure is maintained and there is a certain physical properties are modified, it is called as isoreticular synthesis. So it is now more clear. The spacer can be like the spacer is represented as this one. So this is an organic moiety called as 1,4 benzene dicarboxylic acids. So it has got two oxygen centers on one side and on the other side. So similarly, this is called as benzene tricarboxylic acid. So these are like ditopic linkers and tritopic linkers. So this is an one anchoring sites. So similarly, when you have another anchoring sites, so it is called as ditopic linkers, whereas it has got three anchoring sites, 1, 2, and 3. So it is called as tritopic linkers. So this di and tritopic linkers forms a different kinds of structures. For example, ditopic linker can form a structure like this. It is called as a cube or something like that. Whereas a tritopic linker can form a pedal wheel or octahedral, something like that. So this is called as like different types. There can be tetratopic also, but minimum you need is like ditopic linkers, because only then the coordination polymers can extend on the both sides. So unitopic linker or single topic linker cannot be used as an for the synthesis of metal organic frameworks. So metal organic frameworks were born from zeolites, zeolites are the porous crystalline materials which currently rule the catalytic industry. So the material science or the material scientists, or in the last decade, there was a large concentration on the preparation, synthesis, and the properties of zeolites. So zeolites are also porous crystalline substances. These zeolites can be which are occurred from nature, and now people are synthesizing it. So metal organic frameworks has been developed from the part of this. So zeolites are made up of aluminosilicates materials, whereas metal organic frameworks are made up of metals and organic moieties. So metal organic frameworks are termed as a next generation materials. So because like it has got an organic moiety where you can modify the structures, it has also got a metal centers where you can also modify the metal properties. So whereas in case of zeolites, it was not possible. It has got only a metal and an oxygen linker. So oxygen will link two metals. So whereas in case of metal organic frameworks, you have got a metal linked by an organic moiety, and there are n number of chemical modifications can be done on the organic moiety to modify its chemical structure. So metals. So metals are the substance which usually have luster, which is like shining property. It's ductileable, it is malleable, and it is proper, and it is a good conductor of heat and electricity. So metals have sonority, it has got a unique sound. Each metal has got a unique sound. So metals tends to form positive ions by giving off electrons, and metals tend to form ionic compounds as well as coordination compounds. So when it forms an ionic compound, it is called as ionic bond. When it forms a coordination compound, it is called as coordination bond. So there are sodium, which we use in our daily life, which is we take it as in the form of a table salt, and potassium, which is present in also all green leaves or what we eat taken. And similarly, iron is what is present in as a hemoglobin in all meats. It is present in blood. So these are the three fundamental elements which we come across daily in our life. So there are a wide range of metals which can be used. So since there was so those in blue in color is called as metals, whereas those in yellow is called as non-metals. So there can be in various kinds of metal, and probably these are called as like ruthenium, rhodium, palladium, silver, phosphorus, iridium, platinum, and gold. So these metals are called as noble metals. So just wanted to illustrate like the difference between an ionic bond and a coordination bond. So in this case, like sodium gives off an electron and chlorine takes up an electron. So since they are negative, since they do, because of this losing of electron and gaining of electron, they tend to form an opposite charged particle. So this stay together. So opposite charges attracts, plus attracts minus. So this kind of a compound is called as ionic compound. Whereas in case of a hemoglobin, so this structure is known as an hemoglobin structure. So this hemoglobin structure has got 4 nitrogen atoms coordinated to the ion centers. So this is not an ionic bond. It is just sharing of electrons. So one electron is shared by nitrogen, one electron is shared by iron. Whereas in case of this, electron is given up to the chlorine atom. So this kind of sharing is called as coordination bond. Giving of electron is called as ionic bond. So in metal organic frameworks, the basic bonds are coordination bonds. So metal complex consists of two important parts. One is the metal center, and second is the organic moiety. So this is called as an organic moiety. So this in terms can otherwise called as ligand. So metal complexes are more stable than the metal complex are more stable than the metallic form and the ionic compounds. So they are so robust in nature. So ligands are nothing but an organic compounds which contains heteroatoms. So for example, oxygen is a heteroatom, nitrogen is a heteroatom, oxygen is a heteroatom. So these are the common molecules which we use in our daily lives. So these heteroatoms help the organic molecule to bond to a metal center. So there are different classification of ligands based on the denticity, which is like how many number of bonds it can form through one functional group. So this is called as an denticity, like monodentate ligands. So when I said like it can be called as topic also. So monodentate ligands or monotopic ligands cannot be used for the synthesis of metal organic frameworks, since it do not have a property to extend. Whereas terephthalic acid, it is called as ditopic ligand, whereas tricarboxylic acid can be called as a tritopic ligand. And similarly, we have gotten one more. So these both are terephthalic acid, tricarboxylic acids, but this molecule can be used for the synthesis of metal organic frameworks, whereas this cannot be used. So thus it needs its symmetry in it. So you can see like it can extend in all three directions, 1, 2, as well as third directions. Whereas this compound and this compound cannot be used for the preparation of coordination polymers or metal organic frameworks. So this is just an illustration, like this is mono, bi, tri and tri. So these are the further classification of different ligands. So some can be like neutral or some can be ionic bidentate ligands. So general preparation for the MOFs. So I was just saying that suppose if we take a benzoic acid and try to form a compound. So let's consider this benzoic acid as this blue color and the metal is red color. So the benzoic acid and this functional group is represented as the red color. So it bonds to a metal center. Let's assume the metal can form 4 bonds. So now it is the whole compound cannot extend. Whereas when we have a ditopic linker, it can extend. So first one was like here, and second it can go, and further all these molecules can extend in all three directions. So similarly, so this can lead to a polymers called as metal organic frameworks or coordination polymers. So similarly, if you have an benzene tricarboxylic acid, it is like this. So it can form bond with 3 other metals, and this 3 other metals can bond with another 3 other metals. So whereas if we have an 1, 2, 3 tricarboxylic acid, it gets saturated. It cannot extend from after 2 directions. So the choice of ligand is more important. You should have a symmetry between these molecules. So now terephthalic acid and benzene 1, 3, 5 benzene tricarboxylic acid can be used for the synthesis of. So now the common metals used for the here is a list of common metals used for the synthesis of metal organic frameworks, and left side is the metals or the ligands which is used. So these combinations can vary to form a different structures or different chemical properties or different strengths. So as I said below, like there can be like 2 ways for the preparation of metal organic frame. One is solvothermal technique, from which crystals can be grown out of the hot solution, and then second is like mechanothermal methods, which is like grinding or ball milling, which can give rise to powders. But basically these mechanochemical synthesized MOFs do not have high porosity, whereas solvothermally synthesized MOFs have got high porosity. So there is one such MOFs which is called as MIL88B. So this MIL stands for Material Institute of Lavoisier. So this Lavoisier is an institute in France. So this institute has produced this kind of a MOF where iron or chromium can react with terephthalic acid or substitute terephthalic acid and form a structure like this, which is called as MIL88B. So the under SEM, the morphology of this molecule is like of a spindle shape. So we can see like this has got a very good property called as solvent effect, which can swell in different solvents. So in DMF it swells larger, in methanol it swells to a medium size, and in water it shrinks actually. So therefore, like this is an interesting property of this metal organic framework, where it can shrink or swell in different solvents. So these applications of metal organic frameworks are found in various fields. Like it is used as supercapacitors, it is used for sensing. Nowadays it is used for lithium-ion batteries. It is an excellent electrocatalyst for the production of hydrogens or water splitting. And since it has got pores, it is highly used for the production of fine chemicals and as well as in photocatalysis. So metal organic frameworks are also used as a drug delivery system. So this offers metal organic frameworks has a high drug loading capacity. MOFs can be biodegradable also. So since there are organic moieties, it can be versatile. Functionality can be modified a lot. So use of MOFs at a smaller scale, like nano scale, increases the variability of the MOFs to act as a drug delivery vehicles. So maintaining the same structure because of isoreticular synthesis, you can synthesize a small MOF also. For example, this is the larger MOF, but maintaining the same structure, we can produce a smaller MOF like this. So this large MOF can be converted into a nano size MOF also. So because of this size variabilities, but retaining the same chemical and physical properties, so MOFs can be used as an excellent drug delivery system. So the major goal is to design. So if you take it MOF for the drug delivery system, it is to design a MOF which has got both ligand and transition metals which are not toxic to human beings. So as I said before, like I have given a few examples of what are the metals which are commonly used. So iron and copper was one of the examples among them. So iron, copper, magnesiums can form a stable MOFs, but these metals are not toxic to human bodies. So they have got very small toxicity. So similarly, like terephthalic acid also do not have toxic to human bodies. So such kind of MOFs can be used for the drug delivery system, and it can be effectively used as. So the advantages of using MOF or drug delivery system is it has got a lower dosage requirement. So which means like the side effects are reduced. So extend the time of medication in the body. So drug delivery system is it delivers MOFs or the drug delivery carrier delivers drug only at a specific point where it has to be required. So thus we require a small dosage and it can be targeted drug delivery. So nanosize MOFs are taking up its position in the drug delivery system. So these MOFs can be used for the bioimaging. So if the organic moiety present in the MOF is fluorescent, it can be used as a bioimaging technique. So there is an example like nano MIL101 with the cancer pro drug, which helps as an imaging agent. So as I said before, the organic moiety in the MOF plays a very important role to modify its property. So now this MIL101 has got modified and it has got a fluorescence property which can be observed under a CT scan or an MRI scan. So 2 years back, Nobel Prize was awarded for the molecular rotas or molecular missions. So these MOFs can be an external molecular missions. These molecular missions have got a future application like by an external stimulus or external message. This can change its shape and conformations so that which signals the other properties, which signals the next reaction to take place or not. So MOFs can be used for such kind of a stimulus also. So MOFs can be used for the synthesis of fine chemicals, like as I said, MIL88B. So there is one such report saying that MOFs, so these are the important platform chemicals like furfural and gamma varenicline can be synthesized by using MIL88B MOF. So these MOFs are modified and then modified, which means like it has mixed with the heterofluorine, and then it is used for the carbon dioxide capture, and this carbon dioxide capture is transferred into a methane and hydrogen molecule. MOFs have got an excellent hydrogen storage capacity. So the highest capacity was for the nickel MOF, so which can store up to 100 liters of MOF, 100 liters of hydrogen per kg of MOF. So which is a very huge record. It was published in Journal of Chemical Matters 2018. So engineering morphs to improve its activity. So as I said before, this was the morph. So this functional group here, the R can be engineered or engineer, which means like it can be modified to possess certain properties. For example, when it can be hydrogen or it can be NH2. So I said like engineering is, before it was like 2 ion centers in one morph, and now people have modified it and made into an thing like instead of three ion centers in a morph, they have modified into 2 ion centers and 1 nickel atoms. So because of this, what was the property difference was, the one which has got 3 ion centers need to have an solvent molecule inside it so that the charge is balanced and the morph is stable. So when you replace with nickel 2 plus, so ion here is Fe3 plus. So when it is replaced with nickel 2 plus, the density, like it is like dense morph, it has become porous morph. The solvent molecule inside to stabilize the charge is removed now. So now the surface area increases from 40 meters square per gram to 350 meters square per gram. It is an enormous increase with a small modification. So now what is the effect of this? So we could see like previously this morph which has got 3 ion centers. So when it has got 3 ion centers, it takes 10 hours for the reaction. But if it is a bimetallic morph with a higher surface area, it just takes 70 minutes, which is like it has reduced from 600 minutes to 70 minutes, like 90% reduction in the activity, enhancement of the activity. So similarly, for the conversion of furfural to furfuryl alcohol, for 3 ion centered morph, it took almost 540 minutes, but for the bimetallic morph, it takes just 40 minutes. So you could see the extent of increase in the activity. So such kind of an engineering helps morphs to be a reliable source for the future catalysis. So the future is, people say like morphs have got limitless potential in many fields since it has got all properties to be engineered. So we have seen one examples where the organic moiety can be engineered and it can be used for bioimaging, drug delivery system. And there was a later example where the organic moiety remains the same, where the metal was modified a little and the property enhances, so the property changes. So such kind of a modification can happen in metal organic frameworks, but not in case of many other materials. So in case of zeolites, it can be just added, you can just add some molecules, but it cannot be modified on its own nature. It can become a composite, like one material is depositing on the other material, so it become a composite material and it has got larger potential. Whereas for morphs, it is different, like the organic moiety can be modified separately and then the metal atoms can be modified separately. So it has got a limitless potential. Morphs have a very high surface to volume ratio, so it is perfect to replace zeolites in the future years.